What's up, my Yu-Gi Bros? I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! On Business Casual. So the list is out, and once again, Konami has pulled a fast one on me by doing what is right for the players, doing what the players asked, for the most part, and made a fairly short list that I was totally wrong about. I think part of the clue into it is the fact that it is a 1.5 month long list, meaning we're not going to have this for very long, and that may have something to do with why the list is so different from what I expected it to be in terms of preparing Konami for the next set of decks that will be coming out in the near future. I think this may have had something to do with the fact that we still have not had the North American World Championship qualifier, which is a pretty big deal, and the fact that we also have not had Worlds yet. So it didn't make sense to absolutely obliterate a bunch of decks, because then there would be very little that you could play at Worlds, because I think that the plan this year for Worlds is that they are going to be combining the ban lists, so their lowest allowed amount of a card is the amount that's legal. So for instance, in Japan, Abyss Sphere is at 1, so we would only have Abyss Sphere at 1, and it's etc. Japan can't use Stratos, etc., etc., etc. So let's actually take a look at the list. We're going down. Absolutely nothing got forbidden this time around. I guess, so this being a really short list, I'm not particularly surprised, based just kind of on what I just said. Going to 1, we have Goyo Guardian. People have been talking about this card a lot for a long time. I think it makes a degree of sense since there is such a huge amount of removal in this format, and there aren't really a lot of good targets for Goyo Guardian to take out this format. A lot of them are either Xyz monsters, which would just be totally useless after you run them over with Goyo Guardian, or are too big for Goyo to deal with, or just don't really do a whole lot on your field, like a hand or something would not be a particularly good target for Goyo. So Goyo's are an interesting card. It does mean that Light Sworns do get a boost, because now they can use Lumina to go with Minerva into Goyo Guardian and run some monsters down, be able to take control of some things. But there really aren't that many great targets for Goyo Guardian to take control of in this particular format, particularly after Girgia Gear got limited, which means you can't steal your opponent's Girgia armors, because you're unlikely to be seeing any Girgia players at Nationals this year. This is a card that a lot of people were hoping would get hit, and I didn't really think was going to get hit, because I thought the Konami would be considering the fact that Girgia is a good replacement for Girgia armor, and that MK3 would be something that they would want to have around with Girgia gear so that they could get its effect, but it looks like that is not the case. It looks like Konami just did what the players asked for. Limited Girgia gear. This is a lot more along the lines of what Konami used to do with limiting things that special summon from the deck and create expanded plays. They hadn't done that for a while. I apologize for the sound of the truck going by outside, so I didn't expect it to happen, but that is a thing that happened. Magician Faith got semi-limited, nothing really big there. Formula Synchron got semi-limited. This is possibly the only thing I was right about on this list, but that's really nice, because they're basically Junk Doppel, which is one of my favorite decks ever. We'll get kind of a boost from this, along with the release of Goyo Guardian from the ban list, and also a semi-limiting of Rhoda, which is interesting because they will be releasing a Noble Knight structure deck boxy thing in the near future, which means that Noble Knights will be better, especially with 2 Rhoda in the game. And then Deep Prison and Mirror Force coming off the list. I'm not particularly surprised. I talked about that in previous ban lists. I didn't talk about it this one because I guess I got complicit. So that's just kind of the list. I will be talking about my reaction more in depth on Casual Friday tomorrow. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why in the comment section below. And of course, subscribe for more deck discussion, analysis, and general Yu-Gi-Oh! Shenanigans. Meanwhile, I'm your host, the RJB0, and I got a jet. See ya.